In the tumultuous journey of human existence, perhaps none of us has never once longed for the two words peaceful tranquility. We crave it like a desert wanderer thirsts for a sip of cool water, like a seafarer longs for a calm shore. We strive, struggle, overcome storms, endure hurt, all often aimed at one final destination: stillness, serenity in soul and life. However, there is a harsh irony that many of us face. After long years immersed in turmoil, wrestling with difficulties, when the storm seems to have passed, when the quiet moment truly arrives, we fail to recognize the peace. Even worse, we doubt it, feel lost, restless, and sometimes, unconsciously find ways to stir up life once again. Why is this so? Why does the destination we've longed for become so unfamiliar, so elusive, when it's actually within our grasp? Today, I want to delve deeper with you into exploring this complex psychological phenomenon, the blindness to peace after turmoil, to better understand human nature, and perhaps find the path leading back to true serenity. 1. The grim familiarity with chaos. The first, and perhaps most common reason we find it hard to recognize peace, is that we have become too accustomed to turmoil. Like someone living near train tracks for years who no longer hears the trains, our minds, after long periods of constantly dealing with crises, pressure, and conflict, have come to see the state of tension and vigilance as normal. Brain adaptation. The human brain has extraordinary adaptability. When constantly in an unstable environment, it prioritizes survival mechanisms, high alert, quick reactions, predicting risks. The fight or flight state becomes the default. When external chaos subsides, this internal warning system doesn't automatically switch off. It remains active, searching for danger signals even when they no longer exist, making us feel insecure even in tranquility. Feeling empty when the enemy disappears. For some, constantly solving problems and facing challenges has become part of their identity, a source of energy, even a purpose in life. When major problems temporarily subside, they feel empty, directionless. Peace equates to boredom, lack of stimulation. They don't know what to do with that quiet time and space, because they've grown used to defining themselves through battles. 2. Fear of transience and recurring trauma. After experiencing major upheavals, deep traumas, loss, betrayal, severe failure, our faith in stability and peace can be profoundly shaken. Waiting for the other shoe to drop syndrome. We develop an unconscious fear that this peace is only temporary, the calm before an even bigger storm. We dare not relax, dare not enjoy, fearing that if we become too happy, too peaceful, the shock will be greater when the next crisis hits. Vigilance becomes a suit of armor, but this armor also prevents us from feeling the warmth of peace. Ghosts of the past, painful memories, psychological traumas not fully healed, can resurface more strongly during quiet moments. When life is busy, we might use work, relationships, constant activity to avoid confronting inner pain. But when things slow down, with nothing left to distract, those ghosts return, making external peace feel artificial. Because turmoil still rages within, we don't recognize peace because, in reality, our souls are not yet at peace. 3. Shifting thresholds for perceiving happiness and peace. Another factor related to how our brain works is hedonic adaptation. The hedonic treadmill. Humans tend to quickly get used to good things. An initial level of peace and happiness might feel wonderful, but gradually, it becomes the new normal. We no longer feel its specialty and start seeking stronger stimuli, higher states of peace, or even return to seeking excitement and challenges. Our threshold for perceiving peace has been raised after intense experiences. Comparison to the peak of chaos. When just emerging from an extremely difficult period, any reduction in stress can feel like peace. But after being in a stable state for a while, we might start comparing it not to the depths of chaos, but to idealized expectations of perfect, flawless peace, a state that rarely exists in reality. This comparison makes us feel the current state isn't peaceful enough. 4. Losing connection with oneself and core values. A tumultuous life often sweeps us along, forcing us to focus on survival, dealing with external factors. This process can cause us to gradually lose connection with our true needs, emotions, and values. Not knowing what we want. When the storm passes, we have time to reflect, but we don't know what we actually want from this peace. We're used to running on the treadmill, reacting to circumstances, forgetting to listen to our inner voice. Peace becomes meaningless because we don't know what to do with it, don't know what deeper purpose in our life it serves. Inner conflict. The values we pursued during difficult times, for example, ambition, power, money for security, might conflict with what truly brings peace, for example, simplicity, community connection, time for family, creativity. Upon achieving material stability or status, we might realize it doesn't bring the expected peace because it doesn't touch the deeper longings of the soul. 5. The influence of a society that worships busyness. We live in a society that often glorifies busyness, productivity, and constant achievement. The image of a successful person is often tied to a packed schedule, always moving, always conquering, feeling useless when not busy. In that context, peace and quiet can be equated with stagnation, laziness, even failure. We might feel pressure to always be doing something, proving we are moving forward. Sitting still, enjoying the present moment, can induce guilt or anxiety about falling behind. Difficulty accepting simplicity. Peace often lies in simple things: a leisurely morning, a deep conversation, a moment immersed in nature. But we are accustomed to strong stimuli, grand achievements, making it hard to recognize and appreciate the beauty of simplicity and quietude. So, how to recognize and embrace peace after the storm? Recognizing the reasons above is the first step, but more importantly, we need concrete actions to reconnect with the ability to feel peace. This is a process requiring patience, self-compassion, and conscious practice. Practice mindfulness. This is the most powerful tool to bring us back to the present. Focus on your breath, feel your body, observe what's happening around you without judgment. Mindfulness helps us realize the difference between anxious thoughts about the past or future and the unfolding reality where peace can actually exist, even if just for a moment. Practice identifying moments without turmoil. In just 5 quiet minutes, drinking tea, the sound of birds outside the window, the warmth of sunlight. Heal past trauma. If ghosts of the past prevent you from feeling peace, don't hesitate to seek professional help: psychotherapist, or practice self-healing methods: journaling, meditation, yoga. Facing and processing unresolved pain is a prerequisite for finding true inner peace. Redefine peace. Peace isn't necessarily a state of blissful happiness without a single cloud. It can be acceptance of reality, the ability to maintain inner calm even when life still presents small challenges. It's inner balance, not the complete absence of external difficulties. Seek peace in small, sustainable things rather than extreme states. Reconnect with self and core values. Take time for self-reflection. What is truly important to me? What do I want to use this peace for? When do I feel alive and meaningful? Allow yourself to rediscover hobbies and passions forgotten during stormy periods. Living in alignment with your values brings a deeper and more sustainable sense of peace than any external stability. Practice gratitude. Each day, spend a few minutes thinking about things you are grateful for in life, especially aspects related to your current peace and safety. Gratitude helps shift focus from what's lacking or worrisome to the good things present, helping us see and appreciate peace more easily. Allow yourself to rest and enjoy. Resist the pressure to always be busy. Allow yourself periods of doing nothing, simply being there, enjoying the quiet. Remind yourself that resting and enjoying peace isn't laziness, but an essential need for regenerating energy and mental health. Patience and self-compassion. The process of learning to recognize and embrace peace after turmoil takes time. There will be times you feel restless or anxious again. Accept those feelings without blaming yourself. Remember that you are relearning a skill that was forgotten or never properly practiced. Dear friends, life is a symphony with its highs and lows, intense crescendos, and necessary pauses. Failing to recognize peace after turmoil is not a personal failure, but a very human response, a consequence of scars and habits formed in the storm. But the important thing is that we have the ability to relearn how to feel. We can remove the armor of vigilance when it's no longer needed. We can quiet the noise within our minds. We can find beauty in simple stillness. Peace is not something distant, arriving only after all problems are solved. It is an internal state, an ability that can be nurtured and found right in the present, amidst the debris and ashes of turmoil. The journey to find peace again is a journey back to ourselves, listening to our hearts, and bravely choosing tranquility over familiar chaos. It is a journey worth taking, because true peace is the most precious gift we can give our souls after long, weary years amidst the ever-changing currents of life. Let us practice together, be patient together, not just to seek, but to truly recognize and live fully in the peace we deserve.